Alright, we're going to work on a 1992 Jeep Wrangler today. My brakes have been feeling really crappy, so we're going to replace them. We're just working on the fronts today. We got a kit here that has everything we need in it. The rotors in this one are slotted, which I guess is supposed to be upgraded better for cooling. This comes from Crown Automotive. It's a warehouse outlet. If you're in Massachusetts, you can go to them. This was, I think, under $160 for the whole kit.
They're in Stoughton?
They're in Stoughton. The part number is 520084440DSK, and it comes with everything you need. We'll show you as we unpackage it as we go. So let's get started. Alright, so we started to pull out some of the parts from the kit. And here we have one of the rotors, and just to show you they are slotted. And there is a left and a right to these. If you look on the side, there is some type of a little number with an R. Okay, this one has an R next to it. I don't think you're going to get it in the video, but if you look on the side here, you see there's a little R, so this is the right side one. You got this little goodie bag. And what we're going to do when we put these together, we're going to make sure we grease them up to prevent squeaking. Little boot and these things. These little clips that are in here, depending what area your vehicle is, you may not need them. I believe pre-1990 is the only ones that use these. After that, you don't need them. They tend to cause more problems than anything. And
the calipers and Allen wrench.
Yeah, I believe the ones with the calipers that you take off with an Allen wrench are the ones that use these. The ones that you take off with just a regular wrench, you don't need these. So. Alright, we already jacked up the car, and we've got it on jack stands just to make sure it doesn't fall on us. We've already taken off the things, we're just taking off the tire. There we go. There we go. Alright, we're getting ready to remove the caliper. There's two bolts back here. For some reason, mine are different sizes. Somebody probably screwed with it. I have a 10, and the other one I'm going to be using is a 12. Again, I'm pretty sure that's not standard. So, boy. There we go. Elbow grease. Alright, anyway, thanks honey for telling me not telling me I was going the wrong way. Too busy laughing at me. Go down, not up. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so this is that other bolt that just kept spinning. Remember I said there were two different size ones? Well, we found out why. There was a problem, so I'm actually just going to yank this whole thing out since it won't come out with the thing. We're replacing everything anyway. There it goes. Okay. Alright, we're getting ready to pull off the caliper. I just wanted to make note here of how the brake pad aligns in this one. Just kind of want to make sure I'm sure if somebody does this all the time, you know how it goes on, but since I'm fairly new at this, I want to make sure that I make note of how this brake pad lines up on everything. There's a little notch up there, a little notch down here. All right. These can be tricky. Shimmy it back and forth, try to loosen it up a little. Probably going to take a hammer to it too to help loosen it because this thing is really stuck on here. Alright, so I hammered it gently with the hammer just to sort of loosen it up a little bit, which it did finally start to move around. So now I'm just taking a screwdriver in here, sort of gently pry it out. There we go. And we got a little piece of tape or something or a string. We're going to just try to tie this up out of the way. It's actually very heavy, so I'm not sure how well that's going to work, but we will find something. Alright, so we're just taking the other nasty rotor off. There we go, it just slides off. Here's the lovely new one. Make sure you don't touch it with your grubby hands. Probably want to wash your hands or use a rag or gloves or something. Alright, we're just going to try to pry out the brakes. Don't know how well this is going to go. Okay, there we go.
What's the difference between the two?
Nasty. It's all smooth too. Big difference. Alright. Maybe I can just grab this out. There we go. And we're gonna spray this down with some brake cleaner. I guess I can just sort of rest it up there. Okay, we're just putting the new brake pads in. This should just push right in. Alright, we put a little dab of grease on. We're gonna try it again. Alright, you little bitch, come on. Alright, so we got this little thing back in finally. You may have to push this back too to make more room, because over time when the brakes wear down it pushes out obviously. So you may need to do that. So we got both brake pads in there, and then we just had to squish it back, so we just used a couple of clamps to do that. And put it on there real quick, and we're good to go. Now we're just going to finish putting the rest of the little boot pieces in, and putting this back together. And we're going to grease these up. Where's the other screw? Alright, so we put the boot over this little thing here, and we're getting ready to stuff it in. Basically we put it about halfway on, put a bunch of grease on it, and there's a bunch of grease on this end as well. So here we go. Hopefully it won't go through. Pain in the ass this thing is. Alright, as you can see, we got it all back together. We did have a slight problem. That screw that I mentioned, that was a different size. I guess apparently there was a reason it was there. Whoever did work previously must have stripped the hole, and they had to put a different screw in because of that. So we fixed that, and we also put some speed bleeders on. Made the job a lot easier. We were able to bleed it pretty quickly, and we're getting ready to put the tire back on. It's all nice and secure, good to go. So we'll get the tire. Alright, so we just finished putting everything back together and took it for a test drive. You can get in the video if you want, Simi. The brakes still feel a little funky, and we did some further investigating, and it's the master cylinder. So that's probably going to be our next project. But otherwise, the brakes are fine. We have bled them out and everything. And nothing wrong with the brakes. They're absolutely perfect now. We'll be doing the rears probably in the next weekend or two. And further down the road, we'll be doing the master cylinder.